September 6th, 2022 to order. Ryan, take the roll, please.
Councillor Pastori.
Here.
Councillor Marcus.
Yes.
Councillor Carter.
Here.
Councillor Lehman. Mayor Claridge.
Here. Citizens Forum. We have no one there. Ryan, I did ask you to make a, well, that's not really the place. Yeah. Yes, why don't you, what we talked about today, something from Facebook.
Yeah, I just, we noticed on Facebook that there was some damage down at the fishing pier by the beach. It was vandalized. Trent went and took a look at it today. It is on their schedule to get repaired once we get caught up with everything else going on. But just again, I guess just a reminder for the public, you know, if you see people doing something damaging basically your resources, call the cops, please. But yeah, we will.
Well, I'd like to clarify that just a little bit. I think the Facebook post said that it wasn't well maintained to start it off. And then the other comments came out that, did you look closely? And you can look, and it was broken. It wasn't for falling apart or rotting or anything like that. So to clarify that. So
I have a quick question on that, if I may. Who maintains that? Is that the city's property or is that the DNR?
DNR.
The DNR owns it, but it's always been understood that the city kind of keeps an eye on it and does your normal cosmetic.
Same with our dock, right? Okay.
Didn't like a year or two ago didn't they do a bunch of work for that too? Or one of them?
Yeah, I mean the DNR would be responsible for like the structural aspects, making sure it's anchored to the shoreline, so to speak. The big major thing.
we could request assistance from them for
Correct.
expensive or
They've been here changing boards and the railings, and that's, it's their dock.
Yes.
We never put it in.
That's just when I've talked to the DNR, that's kind of the agreement. That's if something, the minor stuff, the city can handle.
well, the new agreement maybe we can clarify that before it's signed. Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
on the department, reports from department heads. Part of it.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
I just got a question for Randy, being rec board.
Okay, sure.
I noticed up at the park last week, I don't know if you guys have done inspections on the playground or anything.
I printed off a checklist from, I think, the League of Minnesota Cities, but we haven't done it yet.
Okay. I know we used to do that kind of stuff, so that'd be good if you did that. But when I went up there with the kids, I noticed that there was thistles 2-3 feet high around the playground equipment where the chips are and stuff. And I was like,
There's a weed eater in my car because I was headed there after stopping at the library quick today, and then I realized that the meeting was tonight. I was just going to run by and cut some of that stuff down quick.
I talked to Ryan today too about it, and he said that they're gonna take the city guys and spray some.
Yeah, they did.
I would question, that's not the rec department's job.
No,
They
I
can
wouldn't
point it
think so.
out to us, but our city should be maintaining it.
Frank Roberts called me about the bocce ball court, so I thought I'd run down there because it's a short week and we don't have the extra city crew help anymore for the year. So I thought I'd just...
The weeds were sprayed last week up there. It's the type of spray we have to use, being as a park area. I don't know the exact makeup of it, but it's safe for people to be around. But it does take a couple days to actually activate whatever ingredients are in there. So it was sprayed, and yeah, it's just been tough keeping up because the grass won't stop growing at the cemetery and things like that. So it's just taken.
That was just my comment.
Yeah.
If that's something the recreation department can recommend to us, that our maintenance crew should get on that. I don't think it's their responsibility.
We have a checklist printed for the park and the skate park, and I think we might have one for the rink. We haven't gotten to them yet, but it's something we'll start doing, and especially now that you're
Be great, thank you.
Yeah, and usually the League of Minnesota Cities, usually happens in November. I meet with their loss control representative and we go over all the like checklists like you mentioned and all other insurance fun stuff.
We don't have any summer help yet, no more.
We're
Done.
Yep, we're all done.
So,
You want to help?
Well, spraying up there, all you do is put vinegar in a bottle and it'll kill anything.
Yeah, there's just certain stuff
Well, I'm saying vinegar. I mean, you can eat it, and if you can't smell it, then we're really in trouble.
Oh, boy. This has gone far afoot.
Well, it was brought up about you have to spray with certain items, and
Well, you do, right?
Right.
a concoction with vinegar
It
kills
works.
it. It works.
Well, we'll let Trent know. Okay, that should cover number 5. Number 6, consent agenda. A, minutes. The regular city council meeting of August 16th, 2022 under A. B, claims, payroll number 17, $16,337.47. Second one, payroll, August, $2,350. Accounts payable number 3, $71,081 for a grand total of $89,768.48. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion.
Motion by Brandon, is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Stuart. Further comment or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Let me get caught up here for a second. Okay, now we'll move on to 7. Finally, you've talked me into it. Variance request, discussion. We will continue our discussion from the hearing.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I had a couple more comments here.
absolutely, that's,
We used to have zoning and planning, and I was president of the board. We've done things like this before where we've approved variances on certain things and changed planning zones and stuff for people, so it's not uncommon for us to okay building design, so.
okay, Stuart, I do have a question then, which I said, because I'm unfamiliar with this. This is my 4th year. If somebody complains about it, you just take that into consideration? You know, one person can't stop a project. I suppose a whole neighborhood possibly could influence the vote or something, but okay.
It's up to the board to vote on, be this council.
What's before them?
And making a determination of the variance that they're asking for, which is,
Did you ever have contested variances?
yes.
Okay, you did.
And we had variances that got turned down because they didn't want to, the board didn't want to change the zone.
Okay, so it can go either way.
Yes,
But just because somebody registers a concern doesn't grant them automatic stopping the variance. Okay, that's good for me to know.
So then what you're suggesting, this should go in front of the planning and zoning, and then what they recommend comes here.
we haven't had planning and zoning and,
No, I know, but we haven't had the reason to have a meeting because,
yeah. With COVID, everything changed too, where it just coming before us.
Regardless, the variance request has to come before the council.
Right. It's only skipping us.
You know,
And that's where
hopefully
we're at right now.
Correct.
And we're hemming and hawing over 2 feet on a wall.
Well, here's where I'm at. If somebody will make a motion,
I'll make the motion that
Okay.
we approve this variance on the two or less feet that they're asking for on the wall for their lean-to, carport, whatever you want to call it.
Accessory.
accessory.
Addition to my garage.
Whatever.
So you're saying, because it's 2 feet or less? That's how I read what you just said.
Yeah, 2 feet or
Okay.
less. Our variance is 9 feet. They could build a 9-foot lean-to if they wanted to. They're asking for 2 more feet to get the camper.
I just want to make sure that's
That's
enough.
my motion.
Okay, is there support?
I'll support.
Okay. Motion is second. Now, we're open for discussion.
Mark, I still like to look at that east end. Out of mind, out of sight. Please the neighbors.
And they're still gonna see it there.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but it's,
I mean, it's not hiding it from anybody.
It's still there, but once again,
Putting it here is not hiding it from anybody.
John, and I see what you're saying, John, I like that you're playing mediator, but we do have a motion before us on something
well,
now.
I'm just bringing up
Yeah.
a concern that you asked about.
Yeah, well, further comment or discussion on the motion? Well, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
No,
Okay.
or I, no.
The motion will pass 3-2.
I
Sound
just
effect.
would rather, out of mind, on a sight on the backside, but, and I think it would have pleased everybody, but, well, you got it, Danielle.
Well, Stuart, your comments about being on the committee before and whatever, and stating stuff, and stating it as a 2-foot variance, I can buy into it.
It came before council and
Appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Okay, next, B, Buhl Essentia ALS application discussion. Ryan, you want to lead us into this?
Yep, so we've talked a lot about this, about Essentia's plan to upgrade the city's license to advanced life support. So all that information in your packet kind of outlines the steps and procedures that we have to go through. I'm requesting council action on this one because the city of Buhl, as the owner of the license, actually has to be the one to submit the application, even though Essentia is our operator over there. You know, I've heard nothing but good things of how Essentia is operating. You know, response times are usually less than 5 minutes in the immediate, you know, within Buhl, and at the most 15 for all of our service area. I know they've done intercepts even with the city of Chisholm with ALS, you know, helping them out and while maintaining all our calls. So I'd say, you know, things are going very well for them. The Buhl Chisholm PD is happy with their interactions with them, and, you know, the people they have over there on their roster there's some residents of Buhl, there's some residents of Chisholm, so we're employing local people. So this, basically all the information that we need to submit. There's also a lot of medical with different drugs and stuff, but I didn't include that because it would have been 600 pages. But the main points of the application were in your packet, and I would recommend that the council authorize the city to submit this application for a part-time ALS service in cooperation with Essentia Health.
I'll make that motion.
All support. Discussion.
Ryan, you said part-time? Can you elaborate on that?
So basically, they're doing a part-time model just in case that they don't have a paramedic.
Okay.
But
They don't have the staffing for, okay.
Yeah, just
Gotcha.
being new, starting out with employment and trying to get these professionals, just in case they only have 2 EMTs there, they can still operate under the BLS. So,
I
but
think they wanted to run an ALS, so if that ALS is out on a transfer, then they might have only 2 EMTs left back here in town, so.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be there.
yeah, so I mean,
Makes sense.
regardless, even with this change, there's always gonna be a staffed rig.
Yeah.
You know, and the vast majority of the time, it's gonna be advanced life support, which can really mean the difference in life or
Yes.
death with some of these people, so. Not that we hope that on anyone, but it's good that we're be able to provide this type of service for our residents. I mean, those secret Rams had a big town hall on the challenges of rural EMS, and, you know, we've really kept ahead of that with especially this partnership, so.
Mr. Mayor, does this include Kinney too?
Yep, Kinney is in our primary service
Great
area.
Scott?
Yep,
Okay.
And south of Buhl a little bit?
yep, and south of Buhl, I think Councilor Lehman can kind of,
All the way to Hayes Road, I think.
Okay.
It's olive grade Scott Township, which is there.
That's good, okay.
Yeah, and in your packet too, it kind of on the last page of this agenda item, it kind of outlines some of the more advanced services ALS can provide, like EKG monitoring, manual defibrillation, advanced airway management, fluids, put IVs in and things like that. So it really is, it's a high level of care.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
one thing with having an ALS service in town now, going from BLS to an ALS, one of the things that maybe, I don't know who it is or who would do it, but like all the surrounding areas are having so much trouble keeping staff, they're doing other things. And so when we have these, like Rams puts on this town hall about EMS and having the EMS board there, one of these things that should be brought up would be to increase the size of our coverage area. Maybe taken away from Virginia or something like that, because they have, like Virginia has 600,000 square miles of coverage area that they do.
no, that's a lot.
Maybe 600.
That's a couple of countries.
6,000.
6,000
It's on the high
square miles.
Yeah, but they're in Gilbert.
Well, in Gilbert, they go out, they go all the way up to Lake 14 and Leander up there.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things that we're providing for our area that that could expand.
I think that has to come from the residents of the area that's covered by them, which would be life-saving. Let's say Lake 14, because it's so much closer. It's right up the road for us. Virginia, it's right up the road too, but it's 6 one, half a dozen other. But you're taking potential. It all comes down to potential revenue for these services. So, but there are some areas that may be questionable, which is quicker and faster, and if we were up against a not as good life support system, I would say that would be a no-brainer, but Virginia's is equal to ours, I believe, so. Okay, any more discussion or question on this?
Ryan, so we're gonna submit the application because the city holds the license or the whatever it's called on behalf of Essentia. That's with that process. This should just slide right through, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the only involvement that really the city's going to have, this will have to go through the EMSRB, which is the regulatory board. That I'll sit in on the Zoom meeting just to basically say that as long as the council approves that we support it. But I mean, with running the license and operating, I mean, all liability falls on Essentia. So I mean, the city, like we've discussed, we held on to the license to basically leverage to get the best care we could for our residents, and I think that worked out. It worked out great.
Okay, so everything should go through.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I have.
Okay, further comment, question? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Next, we're on to 7C, raffle gambling application. Attached is an application for the Buhl Curling Club to conduct a raffle in conjunction with the all-class committee. Local governments are required to approve the application, so they need our approval. Ryan, is there anything you want to add to this?
Nope, they're the all-class committee with the help of the curling club. They're looking just to raise funds for the upcoming all-class next year, so they want to do a raffle to hopefully sponsor some bigger events and cover some of their costs and go from there. So
We're looking at selling 250 tickets at $100 a ticket, give away half and keep half.
So,
And we might do that twice. So actually, the committee could have raised about 25 grand for whatever they put on next 4th of July. And that's what we're looking at.
Is there a motion? That's good. Nice to see that.
All motion.
Motion by Brandon. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Carol. Any more comment or discussion? It's a noble cause. Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Coming on the bend. 7D, Resolution 22-31. Attached to Resolution 22-32. This resolution accepts a donation from William Hertzfeld for city banners. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Oh, you're on the wrong page.
You got the wrong one. We're supposed to be Rudy first, the bench.
22-31.
2031 is Rudy.
You didn't have it?
Oh, right here.
No,
22-31.
he didn't.
Did I miss
Well,
it
here.
back?
Here, use
Oh,
mine.
wait, let me just look in here. Is it behind this one? No, I didn't get that one. Okay, just.
Well, that was my fault then, I apologize.
Okay, attached,
Again.
Attached is Resolution 22-31. This resolution accepts a,
Donation,
I don't know how much that is.
$360.05.
360 over, you color it in. Donation from the senior center. These funds were used to purchase a bench in memory of Rudy Kruger at the recommendation of the senior center members. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 22-31?
So moved.
Motion by Carol. Is there support?
Support.
Support by John. Further comment, question, or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the, resolution. Ryan, please take the roll.
Counselor Pastori.
Yes.
Counselor Marcus.
Yes.
Counselor Carter.
Yes.
Counselor Lehman.
Yes.
Mayor Claridge.
Yes. Resolution passes. Okay, now we'll go to 22-32. I'm back. This is a resolution accepts a donation from William Hertzfeld for city banners. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 22-32?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Stewart. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Carol. Further comment or discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Okay.
Resolution.
Brian,
Counselor Pastori.
my fault.
Yes.
Counselor Marcus.
Yes.
Counselor Carter.
Yes.
Counselor Lehman.
Yes.
Mayor Claridge.
Yep. Yes. Okay, now we can move along to councilors' comments. John, you're up.
Are you thinking?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I'm brain dead here.
Oh, it's on dim.
I have a comment, I'll shut my mouth.
Yeah. Am I next? Mm-hmm. I just want to remind the council that the open house for the senior center is on the 17th. It's a Saturday, so,
Next Saturday, right?
yep,
Got it in.
come and see what's been done so far. And hopefully our kitchen should be done by Saturday.
What time is it at?
1 to 3, I believe.
1 to 3 on the 17th.
Yes.
Okay.
And they'll have some music and prizes and whatever.
Did the bench get put together?
It did.
Okay.
And I'm working on the sign.
Oh.
We're gonna put in memory of Rudy Kruger. The family did donate something to be had for the center, and that's what was chosen.
Okay.
And that will go outside on the front, below that center, your mom's sign. So,
Yeah, we were in Cook last week, and then they had them there too, in the park there.
and hopefully it doesn't get stolen
Well, it's been-
or damaged, but,
Way to anchor that at all?
yeah. Yeah.
Anything
And
else?
then our meal is Thursday, the 15th. The senior meal.
Okay, before I go to the Druggy side, if you're done,
I'm done.
let's give John one more chance for you, remember.
Well, I told, the city guys are gonna put a little more perimeter on that public skating part of the skating rink, because there's a couple low spots in there. And when they have time, they're gonna come in and make a little berm there, so, when we put in ice, water stays where it's supposed to stay.
So we'll be able to flood the whole rink this year? I mean, last year there was that little ice wall.
That'll be the goal.
Okay, I mean, that would be great.
I think you're talking that upper rink, John?
Yeah, the upper rink, not the
Oh.
hockey rink.
What about the lower rink? Is there
Well,
something
that's in pretty rough shape.
Okay. What was the problem, if you don't mind me asking?
Well,
Go ahead, John.
the ties are rotting.
I mean with why they froze a ice wall to stop, a third of it or a quarter of it from...
During the spring melt, it usually melts and runs down to forest and creates an ice rink right there if it refreezes. So that was one of the reasons we only flooded half.
There's that much of it that...
Yeah, you have to actually slush it up and pack it, otherwise you'll lose it all. You can't just go up there and flood. You have to make a little dam in there where the kick plate is on the boards. You got that little, I don't know if it's even Teflon, but you got about a 10, 12.
You're saying it floods when you flood the rink? Or
When you flood the rink.
Not when it melts in the spring or both?
Yeah.
When it melts in the spring, usually.
Is there something else we can do about it so we can still utilize the entire rink?
Eventually we need to address the boards. That is gonna be the main.
But I mean, if an ice wall in the middle of the rink was enough to stop it from, flooding the street, could we just do the ice wall along the edge or something different?
I'll talk to the guys on it and see what we can come up with. Last year was tough with all the snow we got. We were plowing every other day, it seemed like, so.
Just one of the biggest worries I have is if you skated over towards that end, it got really rough, and then you'd hit a little ice wall and go face first over into that. So,
Well, it's rough because they're trying to freeze it.
right.
You have to get the base all wet. It's gotta be in water, otherwise you have pockets. And that's why you get all those rough spots.
Air pockets.
Whoever was flooding last year or 3 years ago,
I don't know about 3 years ago.
well, we didn't get
Does
much
the
help
fire
at all.
department still do that?
Yeah, I mean, whatever
Yeah,
we
they're
need to
not-
flood
What do you
this
do?
year, obviously,
better,
we're
huh?
not gonna go that way.
Well, I'm just saying, if you hire people to flood this winter, you better kind of show them what to do.
Oh, we don't teach the
Fire department,
Yeah.
tell them what.
The guys, the city trains them how to flood. It's again, it comes back to we gotta find these people first. If we can find the people, we can better maintain the properties, but it's tough everywhere.
Right.
So,
But yeah, if we can do the right process and hopefully get full use of it, that would obviously be the best.
So about the last 3 years, me and a few other people went up there and volunteered and flooded the rink and cleaned the rink. We didn't get no help from nobody. So that's why we didn't do the hockey rink. We just did on top and put up a net on one end and let kids wanted to shoot. They could shoot, in one corner.
And we've got some people that have volunteered to help. Like last year, we had some volunteers, there was some hold up on that, but I'm sure we'll have some volunteers this year if we need them, but obviously if we can get employees, that's better for everybody.
We used to use the snow bank. We didn't have fence.
Okay. Brandon,
I'd just like to remind everybody, it looks like Thursday, October 27th at 6:30 p.m., the Senior Center will be putting on a meet and greet for the candidates for the general election. And I'd just like everybody to save that date and attend if you're able. And thank you to the Senior Center for holding the event.
I have a correction there. You said we. It's not us. We can't.
No, I'm not involved.
It's the.
I can't.
It's the senior center is doing that, not us.
Yeah, no, I said thank you to the Senior Center for
But
holding the
you
event.
said we. We're gonna have that, just a little semantic. I just don't want somebody coming back after us.
I'm sorry,
That's
did
what I heard.
I apologize.
That's why I heard.
No,
it.
I just like,
Just a reminder to the public that
Yep.
we aren't sponsoring anything.
well, we as a community, I
Yeah,
apologize.
so it's a senior,
Not the
we need a
city.
sponsor, yeah.
Yeah.
So, no,
Okay,
we're fine.
but yeah, save the
And I'm
date.
not involved in
Attend.
that, so
Nope, that's totally fine.
I can't be.
That's all I have though. Just a reminder, save the date.
Stuart,
I'll give the monthly report here from the law enforcement. We had August 22, total of 44 calls, most of them being medical calls, 12 of them. An average of 3 hours and 44 minutes or whatever, an hour a day, so they're working for us. Rams, we haven't had a meeting for Rams in a couple of months. We decided to forego our couple meetings. We will be having a meeting this month. And then I just wanted to make a comment from maybe if people have seen the new signs that are posted out by the highway. BEDA, Buhl Economic Development Authority, paid for those signs. Around $12,000, a little over $12,000 we put into that. They look really nice. You know, reading the paper, there's a lot of history that goes along with them signs. So it was nice to have somebody do a write-up about that. And from the Buhl Economic Development Authority meeting, we transferred some funds. BEDA went through a president and vice president. Oh wait, that's a long time ago. That was a long time ago. So and we did looked at the agreement with T-Mobile on there and stuff. So not a whole lot that board did, but that's about it.
okay. Well, unfortunately, it's me, and unfortunately, I have to let you know this. No. Just this week, we got a communication from St. Louis County that's going to affect our tax base that has nothing to do with us as a city, but it has to do with the 7-county area. It's called fiscal disparities. And so very recently, the city of Buhl, along with all other cities and townships, were informed by St. Louis County of changes to fiscal disparity pools that help offset levies that are certified by each jurisdiction. When I say pool, it's a large group of dollars. The definition provided by the Minnesota Department of Revenue states, fiscal disparities program is a system for the partial sharing of commercial industrial property tax base among all jurisdictions within that 7-county area, is it Ryan? 6-county area, okay. This promotes regional development and helps smaller or poorer communities provide the same service as larger ones without imposing disproportionately high taxes. Unfortunately, what this means for the city of Buhl is that we will be receiving $70,370.35 less in 2023 than what we got last year. That was money we'd get out of the pool. That money had been rising in recent years. It got up, and we'll have another report on this probably at the next meeting and the meeting after that. But we've dropped quite a bit of money in that time. And unfortunately, this has to be made up through property tax in the city of Buhl. So that amount with any levy increase will have to come directly, once again, from the property owners in the city of Buhl. The decrease in fiscal disparities is 100% based on commercial and industrial factors within St. Louis, Itasca, Koochiching, Lake, and Cook counties. Residential growth and development have no impact on fiscal disparities. So increase in population does not impact this. The building of houses or the demolition of houses does not have impact on this, but commercial residential would if you're building and expanding your base for commercial and industrial. So changes in programs like these highlight even more why the city of Buhl needs to continue expanding and growing our tax base. Over the past 4 years, Buhl has upgraded all aspects of our public safety departments and continue to provide high levels of other services such as snow plowing. If residents want to continue to have an ALS ambulance service, 24/7 police coverage, and have their streets plowed in a timely manner, growth is absolutely necessary. The other alternatives to maintain these service levels would be astronomically high property taxes. I think the council has always prided itself in trying to keep the taxes at a low minimum for many years. In November, when the proposed property tax statements are sent to the property owners, you can expect to see an increase. We don't know what that's going to be. According to St. Louis County, even if you keep your levy at 0%, taxpayers in your cities will be paying more in taxes than they did in pay 22, as less of your certified levy is being offset from these monies. So they sent that to all the cities. And there are cities that have much bigger increase or losses of this revenue than we do. And there are some that don't have as much. And it can be cyclical where it happens, you're getting a lot of money from this pool for all, and then it drops out like this year to us. So Ryan has been in contact with St. Louis County. I have contacted Ida Rukavina, the president of Rams, to have her address this with the mayor specifically to give us information to bring back to our taxpayers. And Ryan's going to try to dig into this further. It's a convoluted, complicated process that, you know what, you never get a real answer from. I've been dealing with this in school districts for 25 years, and nobody can get the right answer. It's a formula that's based on the income from commercial and industrial type businesses. So we hopefully will be explaining this as we go through our tax cycle in the next few months with the residents through the meetings here. As mayor, it is my job to set up Buhl for the success for both short and long term. The increased property tax growth that Buhl has experienced and will continue to experience in the years to come is essential for the city and its residents to absorb and limit the financial impact of events like this, which no one knew was coming, while continuing to provide the level of service to our residents that they deserve. So we will keep everybody involved in that. We will have discussions on that. We'll get as much information as we can. The time to probably ask that question is at our Truth in Taxation meeting, correct, Ryan, at the Buhl Senior Citizen Center, which will be scheduled in the near future. But that's where we have to ask the hard questions. In the meantime, Ryan will see if St. Louis County will give us the answers to why we're getting this. Why specifically Buhl? I believe Chisholm had a big increase too, Aurora.
Big one.
So we're not the only ones, but then there's some that were kind of low, negative ones, such as Mountain Iron. So we'll see what happens. With that, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Stuart, is there support? Support by Brandon. All those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.